Imagine if your son or daughter is experiencing depression, anxiety, or even death thoughts. Imagine seeking out the most professional counselor to help your child. And when you're in the counseling room and that counselor is able to provide help, the counselor stops and says, "I'm sorry, I can't help you reach the objective that you want because the government has passed a law that prohibits me from doing so." Imagine if, for example, your son or daughter has an eating disorder and you find someone who has the ability to help them. But when you want to overcome that eating disorder, the counselor says there's a law that says you just need to get used to that eating disorder. There's nothing wrong with it. It's something that you just need to accept. As absurd as that sounds, that's exactly what several states have done with regards to unwanted same-sex attraction, behavior, or identity. If your son or daughter is struggling with any one of those, maybe they're confused, they're going through a stage in their life where they may think that they're a person of the opposite sex from how they were born. Maybe they're having unwanted same-sex attractions and they don't want to act on those same-sex attractions. You find a counselor that can help them, that has experience, maybe even personal experience in addition to professional experience. And when you get to that area of the counseling, in the talk therapy that takes place in the privacy of a counseling room, the counselor instead says, you just need to accept your unwanted same-sex attractions, but you don't want to. But that's what the counselor would have to do in these states that ban such counsel. You just need to accept that, in fact, maybe even though you're biologically a boy, maybe you're a girl and you need to start using feminine pronouns and go through hormone treatments. That's not what the client wants. That's not what your son or daughter wants. That's not what the family wants. But the laws in these states say that the counselor cannot provide the help to overcome unwanted same-sex attractions, behavior, or identity. That's why Liberty Counsel has been challenging these laws across the country. And there's good news. Even though a number of states have now passed these unconstitutional, dangerous counseling bans, last year the U.S. Supreme Court in the NIFLA case, the case involving the crisis pregnancy centers out of California, specifically referenced two of our own cases, one in California, one in New Jersey. Both courts went the wrong way against our counsel, against our arguments. Both courts upheld these counseling bans, and as a result, several other states have implemented similar bans, relying on both those cases. Well, last year, the U.S. Supreme Court said those two cases were inconsistent with the First Amendment, that they're not based on the United States Supreme Court First Amendment precedents. That has given additional wind in our sails to go back and challenge those states, California, New Jersey, and other states such as Florida and Maryland and many other places around the country, to get one of these cases back to the U.S. Supreme Court. And it's not a matter of if the Supreme Court will overturn these bans, but when. They've already indicated that these laws don't comport with the First Amendment. Why? Because they ban a certain viewpoint on a particular subject matter. On homosexuality, for example, you can affirm it as being okay, even though the client doesn't want to accept that. But you cannot have the client help in this situation when they want to overcome these unwanted same-sex attractions. That is an LGBT propaganda promotion. It is dangerous, it affects real people, it's unconstitutional. Give you a quick example of how this would apply. Walt Heyer was born male. After being sexually abused as a young boy, he began to develop these feelings that he was better as a woman. He changed his name, he began taking hormones, estrogen, and then went through surgical intervention. He lived like that for about 7 years until he gave his life to Jesus Christ. And then he sought professional counseling help. For a number of years, he's now been happily married to his wife. And now he helps those going through similar confusion regarding their gender. Walt Heyer, or a counselor, would not be able to provide the kind of help that he himself had from his licensed professionals, because these laws say you must affirm that which the client simply detests and wants to overcome. Stand with us as we take these cases on across the country. These are enormously expensive cases, and we're challenging them in many states. It's just a matter of time for us to get one of these cases back to the U.S. Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court, without question, will strike these laws down around the country, and will be able to bring freedom to hurting families that desperately need the kind of counsel that they seek.